Our next guest was at the White House minutes ago discussing North Korea. Chairman of the Senate Republican Policy Committee, Senator John Barrasso, joins us live. Great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me, Shannon.
Okay, what can you tell us about what you discussed at dinner? What's the mood tonight?
Well, the president was very positive, upbeat, confident. It was really good to be with him. He was optimistic. We were all congratulating him on the great news out of North Korea with Mike Pompeo coming back. Actually, Mike Pompeo was supposed to be at the dinner, and then he got called to go to North Korea, so he wasn't able to join us in the discussion. But the president is obviously, as is all Americans, happy to see these three American citizens home tonight. The president's heading out to the airport to greet them. But we talked about a host of things. Certainly, North Korea being top of the list. The sanctions made a big difference. North Korea, the president's eyes are wide open on this. I'm still skeptical about what can happen. We have a long history of North Korea behaving badly. But if we're going to be able to get the nuclear weapons out of North Korea in a way without military action, I think this is our best opportunity ever. Because to me, this is really about peace and stability of the world, which if we want to have safe and security at home, we need a peaceful, stable world.
Absolutely, in all quarters, and there are many trouble spots around the world, North Korea just being one of them. Steny Hoyer, Congressman, Democrat over on the other side in leadership on the House side, said this: releasing detainees is the easy part. The difficult part will be reaching an agreement with the North Koreans that establishes a strong verification regime that can ensure genuine denuclearization. Congress has yet to see a concrete strategy from the president as to how he intends to avoid giving Mr. Kim a propaganda victory without securing the kind of verifiable commitment on denuclearization necessary for any summit to be a success. And of course, you know that's been one of the critiques of the Iran deal, that the verification process didn't satisfy the critics of that deal. So how does he make sure to get it done this time? Will Kim agree to that?
Well, that's why I think it was so important for President Trump to pull out of the Iran deal. It was a bad deal from the beginning. It didn't accomplish what it was supposed to accomplish. It wasn't really set up to do the things that we wanted to have done in terms of verification, in terms of prevention of a nuclear weapon, in terms of the money that went for terrorism. All of those things made it a bad deal. I think by pulling out of that, President Trump is telling North Korea, hey, look, I'm willing to walk away from a bad deal. If it's not a good deal, I don't want any part of it. And President Obama never did bring the Iranian deal to Congress. He took it to the United Nations before he took it to the elected representatives of the United States. And I think that was a terrible mistake. And I know President Trump will not make that same mistake.
Well, and that's even those who want to see the Iran deal preserved admit that by President Obama doing it that way, it's much easier for a subsequent president to undo it. David Pattern in Newsmax wrote this yesterday. He says Obama loyalists knew all along the deal structured in 2015, the Iran nuclear deal, as an agreement rather than a treaty could be swept away by the stroke of a pen. But without enough votes to win Senate ratification, they instead gambled this Iran nuclear deal would be very difficult to dismantle once it was in place. And that leads me to the question now, as the president negotiates with North Korea and he talks about that he'd like a new deal with Iran, either or both of those, do they need to come to you for a vote as a senator as a treaty?
Well, I think it's better if they do. The Constitution is very clear. Article 2, Section 2, Paragraph 2, the first sentence describes what has to happen with Senate verification. It's very clear that's the best way to do it. President Obama couldn't get the votes for the Iranian deal because it was such a bad deal. It gave them lots of money, didn't prevent a nuclear weapon from being developed. I thought it actually paved the way for that weapon to be developed, allowed strategic missiles to be developed, all of the things that were wrong about it. And we know that Iran with a nuclear weapon makes the world less safe, less stable, less secure. The same thing with North Korea, and why the president is so focused on getting the nuclear weapons out of North Korea, because North Korea with a nuclear weapon, and they have nuclear weapons, makes the world less safe, stable, and secure.
Well, now he gets ready to head into those negotiations. Hot off a dinner with him discussing that. Senator Barrasso, thanks for making time to stop in.
Well, thanks. We had a lot of other discussion points. The economy, which is doing so well. Consumer confidence is up. Unemployment at an all-time 17-year low because we've cut the taxes. We've gotten rid of the regulations. All the things that President Trump promised to do, he's making happen for a much better, stronger America First economy.
Yeah, and more other things in the pipeline as well. We'll watch for those. Thank you, Senator.
Appreciate it.